next and final presenter for the evening will be Mr. Gavin Howe, Student Success Teacher at Vaughan Secondary School, who will be speaking to the Valedictorian Award.
The Valedictorian Award is presented to the student who is voted by his or her peers. We now ask Daniel Roytman, please come and address your graduating class.
Testing. All good? All right, thank you for the kind introduction. Friends, family, esteemed staff, distinguished guests, administration, and of course, the graduating class of 2015. My name is Daniel Roytman, and it is both an honor and a privilege for all of you to be listening to me speak. On a serious note, though, I'm truly humbled by this opportunity and honored to have the chance to encapsulate our past 4 years of high school in a mere couple of minutes. But just a warning, though, the speech sounded just fine in my head, but I wrote this just like every single high school paper we've ever written. So last night, I popped out my jug of non-pulp orange juice, watched a couple movies, and ordered a pizza. And when it hit around 3 in the morning, I decided I'd whip open YouTube and type in good valedictorian speeches and put some ideas together. But it's not plagiarism because I changed some of the words. Shout out to 12U English attorneys. So on that note, I'd like to start off my speech with a quote from a famous intellectual and philosopher by the name of Miley Cyrus. And she said that it's not about what's waiting on the other side, it's the climb. And I thought maybe, just maybe, if we listen to that advice, we could all grow up to be like Miley Cyrus. But seriously, high school was one wild ride, and this is usually the time in the speech where I'd give a corny metaphor and say that high school was a roller coaster. But quite frankly, a roller coaster doesn't describe our experience here at Vaughan. The only thing I can say is that it was a journey. No matter where I've been this past year in York Region, nothing can compare to our school. Vaughan Secondary is 25 years strong and stronger than ever. We have a beautiful atrium, our very own radio station, and a community like no other. We are strong on the academic side, excel in the arts, and you can expect our main man Kevin at every basketball game in the back left corner screaming, Vaughan has truly showed us what community is. Most of our lessons here were not learned sitting at a desk and looking at a chalkboard. They were learned while walking the halls or staying back to finish a project. And I guess that's the biggest lesson we learned here. Learn from everything. And so we did. We grew here. Together. Except me, because I'm still short. I wish I could grow from everything. So since it's Thursday, I'd like to whip out the TBT line and throw back to grade 9 when I was still the same height and we became the smallest fish in a big pond called Vaughan Secondary School. Most of us didn't know what to expect coming in, except the odd person that believed High School Musical was real, but unfortunately, or fortunately, Troy Bolt and Gabriela Montez didn't exist, but we had a gym teacher that seriously could have been out of the movies. Yes, I'm talking about the gym teacher with a gym in his last name. Mr. Gymnopoulos, your job was literally chosen for you since the day you were born. We were introduced to a science teacher that made water fights at school acceptable, and we were introduced to Mr. T, but till this day no one told us what he actually does. After grade 9 geography, we learned that Iqaluit was the capital of Toronto, and after grade 9 gym class, we learned that dodgeball was an actual sport. But all in all, grade 9 was a year of transitioning. Going in, people said there was no difference between high school and elementary school, and you know what? They were right. There were only longer classes, more content, harder content, a final exam, and no recess, but no difference. It was something we all had to get used to. Grade 10, however, was a lot easier, and we roamed the halls thinking we were the coolest people ever, and I mean, look at us, we weren't wrong. Grade 10 history. Grade 10 history. We all learned that if you ever need a stronger alarm clock or you want to go to the bathroom without actually going to the bathroom, ask Dr. Brown how a bomb in World War I dropping sounded. But seriously, he taught us so much that at times we thought he actually lived through every historical event in human civilization. Then came civics and careers. Don't ask us what we did there because we don't know ourselves. And then after that came grade 11. A hectic blur. I mean, if my vertical would have been the jump between grades 10 to 11, I would be in the NBA with my height. Just to let you know. It all started with choosing courses. We had to choose 6 courses of our 8 for our grade 11 year. I mean, most of us don't know what we're wearing to school the next day. I mean, Noah comes in boxers one day and a dress the other day. So you expect taking 6 courses for us, that's a bad idea. And then back in grade 11, there were some revolts with the school Wi-Fi. Snapchat and Instagram were blocked, and we were left with this really daunting question: what do we do in class now? But we soon figured out that there is such thing as data, but just to pay homage to the good old Wi-Fi days, let me take a selfie. Get in this! And now we were left with one more year, grade 12. We are the class of 2015. 2015. 15 is an interesting number. For most people, it can be either 8 plus 7. For the calculus class, it's a derivative of 15x, but to Dr. Lee's physics class, it was the average test mark. Unless you're Cameron Blair, then it's 15 out of 15. But seriously, Dr. Lee, on behalf of all the grade 12 physics kids, they want to thank you for all their study notes, or as they call it, their failed quizzes, and just want to thank you for all the hard work. Grade 12 was also a time for a lot of firsts. We had our first prom, our very first carnival in so many years, and our first time actually considering taking private school. And it was also a time for a lot of lasts. It was our last first day of high school, our last coffee house, our last semi-formal, our last high school exam, and our last English essay. Woo! On a high note though, I couldn't have graduated with a better group of people. I mean, seriously, my mom told me I'm going to bond, that's it. Grade 12 though was a game of Tetris. We came into the year looking at our dreams, our courses, our aspirations and futures as relatively obscure and separate objects, and then as the year slowly went on, they slowly started falling into place. Our futures began to be a bit clearer, aspirations more within reach. Grade 12 was the year, and now we are here graduating, probably one of the last times together as a whole, going our separate ways next year, either to university, to college, or right into the workforce. Bond has definitely been a journey, one that has guided our thoughts, forged eternal relationships, and one that has taught us life lessons that we're going to keep in the back pockets wherever we go exploring this world. So don't forget the lessons learned here and the people who made it possible for you to learn. First off, I'd like to have a huge shout out to the caretaking team for keeping our huge school incredibly clean and presentable. Mr. Nimigan and Mr. Lucianos, you are the cutest sidekicks Vaughn has ever seen. And I have to try this one time before I graduate. Hey! Mr. Bernatic, really nice car. And I'm just going to put this out there. Everyone take tech next year, okay? Mr. Hugh, I loved your suit days. I'm sorry they're gone, but your style is still impeccable. And yes, je suis sacado is all I learned in grade 9 French. Miss Morgenthau, it's not a zoo, we're not animals, we're assets. Ms. Hoboom, thank you for your huge contribution to student council. And Ms. Byrne, your positivity is absolutely contagious. 'Cause, 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 'c Thank you to all the calf ladies that make those delicious chocolate chip muffins every morning. And Mr. Todd, I was so surprised you weren't in any of my classes on the first day of school because you're the biggest kid here. But on a serious note, we love you, and thank you to the administration team for making sure our school is run fairly and normally, and that we have a place to learn and actually grow. Thank you to guidance for making sure we all know what we're doing next year, for most of us. And to the office staff, thank you for all your support in making sure that the school runs smoothly. Can we have a huge round of applause for the whole staff team? And now, we are graduating. Before we were just teaching, but now we are fully diving into the real world, where there's not going to be anybody else there to defend us. You know, there's not going to be anybody to tell us to study for that test or to hand in that project or to go to work on time. It is up to us. We have to go out there and fend for ourselves. And you know what? It is a daunting task. And no one said it would be easy. But we are the people to do it. So if there's one piece of advice I could give to all of you today, it would be don't be afraid of failure. It's inevitable. We have all failed at something, but somehow we're all sitting here together graduating. So go out there next year and make your mark, because we are sitting amongst future lawyers, doctors, politicians, and rappers. Shout out to Hezi. So look around you and remember these people, because we are all destined for greatness. But at the same time, don't take life too seriously. Sometimes sitting back and relaxing is the best thing you can do. So eat that full pack of Doritos, stay in bed all day, and just relax a bit, because we all deserve it. And appreciate everything you have. We live in Canada, graduating high school. That's something a lot of people wish they could say. So take this opportunity and grasp it and do what you want with your life. It is your life, so do what you love. And at the same time, finally, love. When I say the word love, some of you may think of family, others friends, others your special someones. But remember, these are the people that got you here today and will take you to where you're going tomorrow. So love them and thank them. Can we have a huge thank you to all? Mom, Dad, thank you for everything. And to my sister, my special someone, thank you for your constant support. So to finish off, I'd like to quote Stitch from Lilo and Stitch. I'm just trying to... Ohana means family. And family means no one is left behind. You are all my new Ohana. It's been a pleasure to be with you for 4 years and graduate along your side. Thank you and congratulations.
Special warm thanks to Daniel for his inspiring address. The best wishes of all our staff go out to you, the class of 2015.